because he initially has created peace in his life, structure and order. You either get in alignment with it and add to his peace, or you will have to leave.
I have a video of a woman who is expressing her opinion on a man who is masculine and an unhealed woman. She's basically stating she believes an unhealed woman won't be able to deal with one, and it will be an issue if she doesn't heal herself, or if she doesn't do the work, obviously, to understand the issues that she may face and the issues that's preventing her from getting a masculine man. She describes what she believes a masculine man entails and the way he comes across and how he has his life ordered. So I wanted to play this video because it's interesting to me in terms of the woman's perspective, generally when they speak on men. Some women get it wrong and some, few and far between, can get it right. So let's get into this one and let's see what she thinks.
So before you say, I want a masculine man, ask yourself, am I the type of woman that can be with one, or am I going to try to dismantle him at any cost? Every woman wants a masculine man, but let's talk about the inconveniences of being with a masculine man if you are an unhealed woman. A masculine man is very disciplined. Therefore, it'll expose how undisciplined you are. His structure will irritate your chaos. His calmness will feel like coldness. You will get bored because he initially has created peace in his life, structure and order. You either get in alignment with it and add to his peace, or you will have to leave. Second is, you will feel out of control because you cannot manipulate him. You cannot manipulate him with your tears and your emotional escalations. He will not chase your emotional drama. He will address it head on. You will feel completely exposed and out of control. An unhealed woman with a masculine man will think that his boundaries is a form of rejection. And regardless, he is not going to let up on his boundaries for love, for passion. He will not reward your chaos with more attention. That is something that an unhealed woman is used to getting in prior relationships with feminine men or emotional men. Next is, his peace will feel boring. If your nervous system is so used to dysfunction and intensity, and you call that love and passion, he will feel incredibly boring to be with. Next is, he will expect you to grow. You're going to be required to grow with a masculine man. He will not tolerate your immaturity. He will not tolerate your disrespect. He will not tolerate your manipulation. He will not tolerate your whining or your tantrums or the things you are doing that are disrespectful to him. And lastly is, you can't dominate him. And if you're used to dominating over your relationships, you will feel incredibly small with him. If dominating a man is what makes you feel purposeful, is what makes you feel big and have high self-esteem, or this fake confidence that you carried, then being with a masculine man is going to make you feel small and weak. A masculine man does not need you to try to be the man. In fact, he never will let you. He has structure, he has order, he has identity, he has peace, and he has calmness. And he expects you to add to that, not take it away.
She was hitting nails on the head. I think she was realistic. I think she was knowledgeable, because it seems she has been or is with somebody like that, or is an observant person and has people in her life that come across like that. What she was saying was true in many instances. But a lot of the time, men now, if they're like this, there will be moments, and I'm sure men will know this, who are like this, to this level, you will be in a drought, if you want to call it that, at times when it comes to certain women. You know what that means. You would not always have women accepting this order, structure, inability to engage in certain emotions that she may have, that attempts to manipulate you. There will be a lot of women you may not have. And that's up to you to determine if you think that's good or not. This whole notion of sometimes having a roster and all those things, I'm not a fan of that. But I'm basically saying, with this kind of structure, a lot of women will see it, as she says, as control. They will be bored. Now, if you're only looking for one person and you're looking to be married, that's different. You don't need a roster. In general, you don't need a roster in general. But my point is, a lot of the mentalities out there is to have, you know? So you will be potentially in a drought. And if you're cool with that, then you're able to understand your abilities as someone that is a decent masculine person. Men don't need to have, so many things around them and happening to come across like they are whole and content. Because at the end of the day, men who are like this have things that they have planned in their lives, or they're on the process of things, and they've got things that they want to do and bring and create, right? So the lack of having certain types of women in their life who are unhealed is no issue. So they won't have women who they just accept like the unhealed one, because like I say, that structure, they've got things going. So they won't deal. That's why I say it's potentially that they will have a drought. But it's important to know that men like this, that I know of, or men like this, we don't need external things to make us feel good. We don't need a woman to be the one that makes us feel complete. Now, a wife is a good thing, right? Once you find one, but that person has to be one in the way they come across initially. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. So that person is a good addition to the man, because a woman was always supposed to be an addition to, a support to, a helpmate to. It was for the man's benefit, which in turn will benefit the woman, right? Especially if you're going by the word, the scriptures. But this woman was saying the truth when it comes to just the way a man like this can come across, the things they won't deal with, the acceptance that they won't have to chase a woman like this, and will be fine with not having to have a rust up. Because there's a lot of women who will look at this and think, what's wrong with him? Why is he like this? Oh, he's not fun. Why doesn't he do this? And men like this that she described will accept the fact that they don't have a bunch. Because a lot of the time, women like this will get those guys who chase, the simps, the ones that want to show off the money. They want to, act like they have to have all this acting and talk and twang and way about them to try and woo them. Guys that are like this, they will pursue women. They will pursue potentially a wife, or they will pursue, a good woman that is beneficial to them. But if there's issues, if there's a block, if there's a wall, if there's any kind of games of chase me games, they're not involved. That's why I said some men can be in a drought. But that drought term is not a negative thing. It's just a term that a lot of people associate if they say, oh, you ain't getting women, so you're in a drought. But again, to me, it's a negative notion. Being without certain types of women that's not beneficial is cool. And a masculine man will know this. A guy that has order, a guy that says, this is not how we're moving because it's not conducive for results, he will accept not having a bunch of women just because. And that's where the rarity of those kinds of men make women confused a lot of the time. Even if you're not a woman that is so much like how she was describing an unhealed woman, there's certain women that still are about playing a little bit of a game. And guys play games too. But there's certain women that play this kind of, I'm not going to say much. I want you to check and find out my emotions. I'm not going to, I'm not going to move until you move. All these things, if a guy is trying to make things clear and has clarity about what he's looking to do, but is not getting the sort of reciprocal sort of back and forth that's required, he's not going to force it. He will lay out the cards. He will keep it 100 about what he's looking to do. And if he's not getting the door open, he's not going to force it. But then a lot of women will think, oh, he was never good enough anyway. He couldn't handle, he didn't apply pressure. That's the unhealed mentality. What she's describing is a guy that has characteristics, he sticks to them and doesn't allow Cat to dictate how he moves. So what she was saying was true. Women like this do get men, but they get a certain type generally. And a lot of the time, they're contending with them. They're not flourishing with them. They're contending with those kinds of men. There's issues with them. There's gripes with them. The women have gripes with men like that. But a lot of the time, women who are unhealed, or people who are unhealed, never sometimes look at what they could be doing to affect their situation negatively. They always will generally, from what I've come across, look at the fact that, oh, but that person or that man is this, that man is that. But what issues do you have that sometimes contribute to the men that you get? If you want the masculine one, there has to be some work. But a lot of the time, this lack of self-awareness can take place, and you're thinking it's just something external, not knowing that you have characteristics that are not conducive for the good guys. You know, sometimes the way you look at them, the dim view you may have, the lack of acclimatizing to how they come across, because it's so different. It's so ordered. You think it's boring or it's controlling. It's just something that you're not used to. You're not used to a guy that speaks well, come across well. Well, a lot of these unhealed women are not used to that. So once they get it, it's like, what is this? Does he check for me? Does he even like me? Why is there no arguments? They'll even question, like, we don't even argue. Like, all of the things that I don't believe a healed woman will do, an unhealed woman will question this kind of guy. Will question, but why has he got this? Why is he everything all cyclical? Why has he got this process that he has? And you start thinking something's up. If you're not healed, you think it's too good to be true, a guy like this, a person that she described like this, you think something is up. You try and even self-sabotage it. Like, there's so many issues that can happen from an unhealed woman dealing with a guy. Whereas the guy is just like, but this is just who I am. If I'm trying to clearly state what I'm trying to do with you, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to maybe, find a wife. And this is what I would want to do. I want to go here. I want to do this. I want to get to know you in this way. He's just laying it out and he's being consistent. A lot of women will be like, is this too good to be true? And kill the potential of that. Men like this, sometimes women don't know how they come across, how they look, what their viewpoints are. And they will literally sometimes mess up the process by trying to make a guy like that chase. And trust me, he is fine with not chasing and fine not having the typical roster. If he wants to provide and lead and wants you to do your part as well, he's going to make that clear. If you're working, when you meet him and he's working, yeah, he wants that to continue until maybe he sets a plan to say, look, this is what I'm going to do for us and this, that, and the other, especially if you're the one. He's got a plan, right? But if you're not on board with a guy that is clear and has these masculine sort of characteristics and sticks to his morals, sticks to his values, then best believe you ain't going to get one until you do the work. It's not going to be him having to do anything. And you're not going to change the men who you have an issue with. You're going to have to just, unhealed woman, get right and then get the type of men she is speaking on. You're not going to change those guys who are clear on what they're about. But the minute an unhealed woman becomes healed and looks at the stuff that she needs to do, she wins. It makes it easier for those guys to see the energy and hear your mentality, hear how you think on things, see your actions, and then they'll do what's required for you. No guy that is ordered will need to chase. He'll just be like, all right, cool, this is what you're on. Cool, let me go over there. Oh, I'm speaking to that person. It's a bit more easier. She's acting a bit more open. I'm not going to knock down the wall, especially if you're not going to explain to me why your wall is up. Do you have issues? Do you have trauma? Do you recognize it? And if you do, and you're open for that to be a clear understanding for the masculine man, then maybe the masculine man can assist and will, if you want the help, if you're actually putting the effort in as well. But you also have to identify that this person, if you vet him, is the one that's conducive to assist you on that journey. But you've got to be open, because I don't believe a guy should be the one trying to figure things out and he's getting stressed because you've got your trauma and you're not making it understandable or easier for him. And no, you've got to do the work to get a guy like this, and you will see the results. He's fine how he is. He's fine having his routine. He's fine going out from time to time, meeting different, women from time to time, but he doesn't need to indulge. Doesn't need to. He's there. He's chilling. He's with the man. He's whatever he's doing, but he's cool in his position. Got to understand how they move, what they're cool with, what they're not cool with, what they are accepting of. They're not typically involved in the mentalities of the typical way the world looks at things for men like this. If they're singletons, if they're married, they can still be masculine as a married man as well. They're not bogged down by, oh, I've got to be like this, I've got to have this, and I need external validation. They don't need it. They are controlled in how they think of what they think of themselves. And that's the key. They've never needed it. It's good to have the right woman, but it's never been a need. Unless they have a desire for kids and a family, then that's fine. They will get a specific one. But they're not going to contend with an unhealed woman unless the unhealed woman wants assistance and help. But It will be interesting to find out what people think. What's your viewpoints on what she says? Do you believe it? Do you believe that she has hit nails on the head? Do you believe what she's saying has any truth to it or not? Do you think an unhealed woman will be able to deal with a masculine man who has the description that she described of one? And what do you believe makes sense in general? What's your viewpoints? I would want to know. Let me know.